On this video we show how to drop the oil pan to replace the O-ring on the pickup tube and replace the pan gasket on this 2002 Avalanche 5.3 liter engine. The new parts needed: an O-ring for the pump screen tube, a new gasket for the oil pan. We will need a tube of gasket maker. A must-have are some oil pans, a new oil filter, new replacement fluid, which is oil. We take down the skid plate under the vehicle, loosen the oil drain plug from the pan and slowly take it off while positioning the pan. Loosen the oil filter and take it down to the pan until drained and store it in a bag for proper disposal. To be able to take off the oil pan, we need to take down this cross member. Keep in mind this is a two-wheel drive, so there's not much to take out of the way to be able to drop the pan. There's 4 nuts and bolts to take off. Using a high power impact with an 18mm open end, we start taking it down. Once that's out of the way, there's all-around access to the pan. The first thing is to take off everything attached to it, like the transmission line bracket bolted to the passenger side of the pan. And the wire connector to the oil sensor needs to be unclipped with a curved pick tool. Insert the pick and lift the clip, pull in the plug at the same time, and it will come off. Now, the pan bolts can be unbolted using a 10mm socket on a 1/4 inch impact driver. The 2 back bolts coming from the transmission housing are the longest, and you may want to put those on the side, not to confuse them with the rest. Slowly lower the pan to the ground. There's the pickup tube screen and pipe going all the way to the oil pump, in which it's held by one 10mm bolt. And that's where our O-ring is. Take off the 1 bolt from the pump first. We are going to remove the pickup tube to make sure the screen is nice and clean and replace the O-ring before we install it in the new pump. Take out the other 2 bolts that are still holding the pickup tube and it will come off. This is the pickup tube end that inserts into the pump, sealed by the green O-ring. The oil pan is not that bad. The inside bottom is not too dirty with solids. We will clean everything before the reinstall. The pickup tube is all cleaned, including the screen. Take off the old O-ring and replace it with the new one. The pan is all scraped and cleaned, and the bottom of the engine cleaned up as well. Before putting back the pickup tube, make sure the O-ring has been oiled all around so it will slip into the oil pump without damaging it. Start by putting in the back bolts and leave them loose. Next, insert the end with the O-ring into the oil pump. Put in the 10mm bolt through the pickup tube bracket and screw it into the oil pump, while making sure the O-ring is lined up without it being pinched. Damaging this O-ring will make the engine lose oil pressure. Now, finish tightening the other 2 bolts holding the pickup tube. We get the pan ready with the gasket, using the gasket maker to fill in each corner, also called the contact points. These are grooves on the engine blocks that line up the pan to the block, where some need to be applied as well. Carefully line up the pan to the engine block without disturbing the gasket. Insert a bolt on each side to hold the pan up, and then insert the rest of the bolts, leaving the 2 rear long bolts for last. After tightening all the bolts around the pan, reinsert the oil sensor plug and bolt the transmission lines bracket back on the pan. Before screwing in the new oil filter, oil the top seal for smooth tightening and pre-fill the filter with oil. Do not over-tighten it. And the same goes for the pan oil plug. Put in 6 quarts and later add as needed. We finish by cleaning and reinstalling the cross member and skid plate. Test drive it and add oil as needed. Continue to check for any leaks in the next few days, but I hope this video gives you an idea of what's involved doing a job like this. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask on the comments, and check the description for links of all the parts and tools we used. You all have a great day.